Hello, in this video I will show you how to implement the inventory application. The presentation you have seen in preview video. Let's create a new project first. We use NetBeans IDE. For that, start NetBeans IDE and then click for new project. We choose Java application and go next. The name of this application is inventory application. Let's click on the finish. We now create the base of the application. Let's first create application object. The class of that object is name of this class, inventory application. We call the constructor. To create a constructor, right click and in context menu I choose insert code and choose constructor. Let's create first a graphical user interface without functionality. To do this, I create the first object. The class of that object is JFrame. I pass some title to constructor. I will first set size for that object. Width is 550, height is 250. Next, I will call the method setDefaultClose and pass indicator which tell application what need to do when user clicked on X button, on close button, on the title bar. I type jframe dot exit on close. You can see that exit on close in some integer variable. Next I will to do set visible. Let's start our application. You can see JFrame object. I suppose you have show that object on the middle of the screen. To do this I call set new method. I add a new method for win object. The method named setLocation relative to and pass null object as component. This is it. The next object is content pane. I get reference for default content pane object nested into win object. To do this I add some code. So jpanel object. To retrieve that object from win object, I start with reference to win and call method get content pane. I must cast to type of jpanel. I set background for that object. I change color to light gray. That's it. The next object is JLabel. JLabel has some text on it. In our case, I set text the number of packages per shipment. Let's first create that subject. This line of code, setVisible method, should be on last line of code. I insert new line in front of setVisible method. Let's create JLabel. The class is JLabel. We must import classes using Swing from the Swing package. I named that object to associate me for its purpose, i.e. number of packages per shipment. I set text calling the constructor with parameter or calling the method setText. For instance, the next we need to do is setting bounds. The bounds is a rectangle and our JLabel object insert into that area. I use coordinate to set position on the panel object. I set x to be 300, y 50 pixels, width 60 and 30 is height of that rectangle. I will set size. I use same width and height which I used in the method setBounds. So 60 and 30. The next we need to do is add that object on JPanel. So pen dot add some object on it. That's it. Look how it looks like. Oh, this is text, but the coordinates is wrong. That's because I don't set layout manager for pen object. I must do next. I call method setLayout, and for layout manager object I pass null object. Okay, I change x coordinate to 50. The width is very small. I change to 150. Okay, I change to 250. And the color I change to white. The color I change to be white. To do this, I call setForeground method. That's it. I will next make two other JLabel objects. Difference will be text on that's JLabel objects and position. I copy preview code. And change name of reference. The second JLabel name as number of books per package lab. I change next 5 line of code. That's it. The text is number of books per package. The second JLabel is need to be below the first JLabel. I will change y coordinates to 100. The third JLabel name is Total Lab. I change reference to third object, and text should be total. I will change x coordinate to 300. I will change size for all of them object. the size to be 250. Let's start application. Let's create some text field. The third lab I will move to the right. To do this, I'm change x coordinate to 350. Okay. Let's create text fields. The class is JTextField. The name of that JTextField should be similar to corresponding JLabel. I made some suffix lab for the first JLabel object and rename all references for that. The base from the corresponding text field object need to be same. Suffix will be tf. I don't need text set on this text field. I will only set size and set bounds. I will copy that code and rename name of the object. Then I will change x coordinate. I move to the right, rising x coordinate. I will change size to 60. Let's look. Okay. I will now add the other text fields. The second named similar to this. I will change y coordinate to 100. This line of code don't need me. I will change x coordinate to 450. Okay, I will add some JButton object. X coordinate for that object needs to be 350. Okay, that's it. If I click on that JButton, nothing will done because I won't implement anything. And last things we need to do is add business logic. When we implement action perform method, in the body of that method we write some code and add business logic in it. To add some business logic in our application, we need to add some button events. We need to add action listener for the button. To do this, let's first connect our application with interface action listener. And implement all abstract methods. Let's look. We get some method which override the abstract method in interface action listener. We will add business logic in that method. That method will be called after click J button. We need to add one line of code for J button. We must add action listener object. So calculate button dot, and we call add action listener method, and passed this object as action listener. Let's check that's connection. I add some line of code in this method. Okay. To check if that action perform method work, I will click on the button. That's it. You can see that this text is written when I click on the button. To calculate total result, we will retrieve some data from, and that's text fields. The users will be typed the number of packages per shipment in the first text field and number of books per package in the second text field. When I click on the J button object, that value need to be set on some variable. Let's define some variables. We need 3 variables. Number of packages per shipment, number of books per package, and total. To retrieve number of packages per shipment, I start with the reference of JTextField object corresponding for it, this object, and I try to call getText method. Oh, nothing will done. I must move the declaration for that object out of method. That's declaration. I copy first and place on the top of the plus, and I will remove local declaration. This is a corresponding JText field. I need to do this for all objects that I use for more methods. That's okay. I call getText method for this object. The getText method return the string data. Because of that, I add some string data. I add some setter. I will add the other string variable. Next, I will get int data. The first, I will save returned data from the first text field to the first string data. And next, I will get int data. I need to call parseInt method and pass the string data as parameter. I will do same thing for the other text field. I will call parseInt method second time. That's it. Now I will calculate to get result. I will multiplicate that's two variable got in preview step. That's it. In the third text field I will set text and I will show users that result. Let's start our application. I will enter some data into the and then I clicked on calculate button to get some result.